Hello viewers, welcome to yet another show on the IPO Connect. We have our expert, Mr. Aun Kejriwal, on our show, and we are delighted that he has taken his time out to give us some guidance on the IPO market in the year gone by and what to expect in the year ahead. Welcome to the show, Aun Kejriwal ji.
Uh, uh, Thanks for having me on the show, and it's a pleasure interacting with viewers.
Arunji, India has emerged as a IPO leader of the world, it seems, and I believe we have 2x, twice the size of American IPOs, and 2.5 as compared to the IPOs in the Europe. What do you think is the reason for India to be, having a booming IPO time?
So very clearly, the number of corporates that you see who have come to the market, many unheard of names. Probably, I'm proud to say that I do go and meet almost 5 out of 6 IPOs that tap the Indian market on the main board. And many of these names come like strange sounding names to me when I go and meet them.
Yeah.
And you find that they are doing niche businesses, a lot of activities happening. Yet, a company doing 3,000-4,000 crore turnover is virtually unheard of. This kind of company discovery is actually what India is all about. We are a large country, we are a booming country, and many of the IPOs which are hitting our markets are also first of their kind in their sector. You don't have competitors for them, you don't have companies which are in similar lines of activity. End of the day, a manufacturing company is a manufacturing company. But to compare two manufacturing companies and say they are the same is not quite it.
See, a lot of startups also are now jumping into the fray. In fact, in the earlier years, if you have seen, startups have not been much successful, which is why I think the SME kind of a board has to be created. But today, even the slightly unheard of companies are also doing pretty well. I mean, I can tell an example of Unimec. How many people have heard about Unimec?
Absolutely. But what I'm trying to drive home here, BN, is that it's not alone, it's not just SME, it is the main board where there is a size scale that is there. There are a lot of family driven businesses,
yes,
which were shy of the capital market completely, where the word getting listed, having public partnership in your business was taboo. They are opening up, they are getting into this entire activity. Secondly, they are also understanding that having participation improves the efficiency of the company, improves visibility of the company, gets the company the kind of mileage that is required to grow in today's ever-changing landscape. So, the concept of being a listed entity is no longer taboo or a bad word.
yeah.
All of this is helping investors, companies, corporates, promoters to get a better footing in this big, wild world.
Yeah, in this context, I think even the snacks companies like people making wafers and chips, etc. They are also getting into the IPO, joining the IPO bandwagon, and they've been successful at it.
Yes. So now that you've spoken about one particular segment, I believe the first company from the snack market which got listed was something like 10, 12 years ago.
Yes.
Now we have 4 or 5 companies listed, and the largest of them all, there is a private deal in the offing which has been going on now for about 18 months. And we have the top PE investors of the world vying to get a stake. When that deal will be announced, probably it's now going to go into 25.
Yeah.
But it could be the largest PE deal ever done in the company, in the country. So snacks market, which was something which we in India never knew how big it could be. you would now have a company which is valued at what? Probably 15, $16 billion, a snack company.
Yeah.
And it makes you feel proud that Indian snack maker has such a large valuation. Without taking the name of that company, one interesting thing about that is the company in which a stake is to be sold is the company which manufactures the snack. It's not the retail arm of that company where you can go and buy yourself a snack or a lunch or a dinner. So we are not talking of that part of that business that continues to remain with the family, and they are not looking at selling a stake in that company as of date.
Your chin is getting cut. थोड़ा पीछे screen को पीछे कीजिए. Now it's fine. That's fine. Otherwise, your chin was getting cut.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay. Great snack time for the IPO market. That is from the company perspective. But from the retail perspective also, I think retail investor has also started developing interest in this successful retail stories.
Partly yes, BN, partly no. The biggest driving factor for retail continues to be listing pop. A lot of them, even today, enter and exit the IPO market on day one. Their driving force is the gray market premium, which is available on a number of apps. They also get to read about it on various social media platforms. And if there is a premium, which is 40-50% of the issue price, they will apply for the IPO. They will make that small retail application, which is about 15,000 rupees. And assuming they are successful in getting the allotment, they will sell on day one, use that money to apply in the next issue. And last year was a successful year for them, because I think we had close to, if I'm not mistaken, about 90 issues which opened from the main board on this particular channel. In this particular year.
76 is the last Pantomath series that we have. 76 companies raised some 1.3 trillion. And yeah, that's what they said. And 2 trillion is expected next year.
So I'm not sure
that's fine. Whom
that's okay. You are referring, but we had 9 issues which closed for subscription in the week that is going on. True. 5 IPOs listed today. Another 3 would be listing on Monday, 1 on Tuesday. So I think that 85, 86 number is that I'm getting is coming from there. Okay. That while 76 have listed, 9 would be listing, of which 5 have listed today.
Okay. But Arunji, one peculiar trend, which is very interesting, in fact, is that during the last 2 weeks of the December, people say that investors will go out on a holiday. They don't join the IPO market, which were to 15th December used to be the cutoff time. Now you have companies hitting the IPO market, getting listed. You have companies getting listed on 31st January, December.
So you've raised a very interesting point. According to Hindu mythology, there used to be a period which used to coincide with this 15 December. 15 December to 15 January was considered an inauspicious period where IPOs normally never opened. Yeah. This year we have broken all records. We have not only had issues opening during this period, listing during this period, and as you mentioned, we also have an IPO which is going to list on the 31st. To add to it, I believe there is going to be a roadshow of an IPO on the 31st. I don't know whether that roadshow is going to be followed by a New Year Eve party or just a roadshow.
Interesting.
So we are breaking all past precedents, and I think the market and the fact that it brings money to the promoter and investor, hopefully, we seem to be breaking all rules. So there is no holiday either for the market or for the investor. It's work and work.
Yeah, I remember as a corporate communication professional, when we called for a press conference on January 1st, that too by Anil Ambani. I had a firing of my lifetime from journalists. I had mouthful. Like, how dare you, hold a press conference on 1st of January? But today,
Correct.
those kind of things do not work. So any day, anytime you announce, and people have to do cover, because there is general people's interest also. Ultimately, media also has to work for their own audience, the readers and the viewers.
Yes.
Yeah, yeah.
PN, one interesting thing that we are now witnessing,
Anji.
you are finding individual companies coming with new themes. So let's say you have a company which announces its business, and when you try and compare it with all the listed players, you find that this is a completely new theme that is coming.
Yeah.
Now, we have had such examples in the current year, maybe a few examples even last year. But the most striking thing that is being noticed is that when a company is a first of its kind from its sector, very shortly thereafter, you find multiple companies coming from that sector. 3, 4 of them follow. So, for
Yeah.
example, the snack industry that you talked about,
Yeah.
it took what, 50, 60 years for the first one to come, and then you had 3, 4 following in quick succession. You always had transport companies listed on the exchange, and then you had a quick commerce type of a company coming, quickly followed by 3 others.
Yeah.
Now, this sort of, I wouldn't say herd mentality exactly, because it's not that 15, 20 companies have come, but a few have started coming. It's an interesting trend, and very clearly the fact that people are looking at new businesses from an investment perspective augurs well for the markets.
That's true. In fact, IT and retail have used to be the generally darlings of the investor market, but today you have the not only IT but manufacturing is also getting large in logistics, manufacturing. Those kind of industries also getting into the market and doing well.
Yes, absolutely. I believe one of the new buzzwords for the street is solar.
Yes.
Whether it is solar manufacture, whether it is solar EPC, whether it is solar power generation, whether it is battery storage, all of this is the buzzword. If you have a name solar in your company's name, that issue is bound to do very well. And if you bring that issue on the SME, getting subscription of over 500 times is given. You don't need to have somebody to sell your issue. It will get sold on its own.
But people like Acme Solar, they haven't been able to do post listing.
Well, I believe people need to understand that company, and time will prove both of us correct when this company starts doing well. It's a very interesting business model
Yes.
where the raw material for the company is cash or money. It converts this raw material into asset, which starts generating electricity. I would say 24 by 7 because solar has its own time, but it generates money 24 by 7. And once the power station is charged, the modules are charged, etc., you just generate electricity and you get EBITDA margins of close to about 88, 90%. And the earnings of this business are predictable to the last decimal point. So I believe it's only a matter of time where such companies start getting their due valuation. And this could be something that one should look at in the future for a steady state uh, earning growth that a company would deliver, because the money plowed back into the business would be reused to set up new power plants.
Yeah.
And you get a reasonable amount of loans for such investment from regulatory authorities, the financiers, from the renewable sector.
So it's more like a tomorrow story than rather than today's story.
Absolutely. And I think it's not that tomorrow is going to be 2, 3 years down the line. You could see good traction coming in FY 25, 26.
See, some of the issues which have not been done well as per the last listing, the Capital Small Finance Bank, Tirupati Balaji Agro, etc. Some Accoms Drugs, MBK Agro. Agro does not seem to be doing well, though India is an agro country.
So that word agro is misused.
Okay.
And I don't think people have understood what agro means. Agro does not necessarily mean that you are a farmer, you are growing seeds, etc. It's used as a very loosely coined word. So people don't fall for it, and agro gives you different perceptions. You'll be surprised if I tell you that a lot of people who are into organic fertilizers, seed, crop protection, and other such companies,
Yeah.
they use the word agro very loosely in their name, trying to give a flavor that we are agriculturist, if I'm trying to explain what I'm saying. But that is not true. They provide inputs for agriculture, but have nothing to do with agriculture directly by itself. So it doesn't augur well. As far as ACOMS is concerned, probably at the time of selling the issue, the perception about the company was that it is doing very well, and there are a lot of things that are happening. They failed to deliver at the time when post the issue in the 2 quarter results that they have given. And that has become a sort of a drag on the company's financials. Hopefully, if they are able to deliver in December numbers, things should be better, failing which we could see the share remaining sluggish even going forward.
Okay. But logistics supposed to be the in thing today with so much of push from the government, whether it's Modi or Gadkari, they have been laying so much of stress. But companies like Zinka, logistics, I think they have not done well in the market. What could be the perception, understanding, valuation?
So I think this company is ahead of its time. Uh, at the end of the day, it is a
Yes.
platform which provides the interface between the truck owner and the business owner. So bringing these two people together can only give you a fee. So the income is restricted to the fee. The valuation that the company already commands
Yeah.
is a huge number. And I believe people like somebody who is actually having the vast investment in the fleet, like say a delivery, uh, would be sort of feeling conscious of the fact that a startup, using the word in a very light tone, that a platform owner has a market cap of so much versus he who is a fleet owner.
Yeah. Yeah.
So I believe Zinca needs to remodel its business better for it to do substantially better than what it is doing. Second, the fact that they have entered into the transport finance business is
Yes.
something which doesn't gel with me, because we have transport finance businesses being done by NBFCs, by PSU banks, by private sector banks, and they are all large in number. A small upstart company like Zinca coming and entering this space and commanding that same kind of valuation for that business, which is a bricks and mortar story, I don't think goes well. It's better that sooner than later they hive off this business into a separate entity. Otherwise, this could be the uh, the 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 point where the company's performance gets affected because of this business.
Yeah, because that market is already crowded, as you said.
Absolutely.
Too many players into that.
Yes.
What is your take on the companies like say Hyundai, Swiggy, Ola? They have not been doing well post listing.
So, not doing well is a perception. Let's talk about them individually, because I think painting them all with the same brush would not be the right thing.
All right.
So, I think Hyundai became greedy, looking at what the market was talking about them. They had sort of given indication to the market that they were looking at a valuation of the issue size of about 24,000-25,000 crores, looking at the response that they were getting from various apps which talked about a premium, possible listing price. They upped the price from 25,000 to 28,000. This was the management's undoing.
Yes.
And the price never stuck at that 28,000 that they had launched the IPO at, but came down to that 24, 25 that the market was happy with. So
Similarly, yeah,
I think what's important to understand is that don't think the market will price you so finely that you can get everything for yourself. There must be money for the investor to make. Otherwise, he is not interested in your IPO. Let's look at Ola. Ola listed at around the issue price, had a doubling of share and then came down. They had some issues that they were talking about with regards to service, some quality issues on that account, which they seem to be now sorting out. And let's understand that while EV is something that everybody understands and likes, there are some problems in maintaining an EV scooter where if you don't take care of it, it can give you minor hiccups,
yeah,
which are not something that you and I can do of our own or the Jugadu mechanic can do. You
yes,
need to go to a service station, you need to go to an outlet and get the same repaired. So I think they are getting their act together. And the fact that on Christmas Day, they have increased their outlets from 800 to 4,000 is going to be a big factor in helping them address the market, their presence, and their service. The third company that you mentioned in that list was Swiggy. Swiggy had a comparable name to look up to,
yes,
Zomato, and people started looking at Zomato and Swiggy as a proxy play. That if Zomato is trading at X, Swiggy should trade at a, a smaller multiple of that. And that is how they are trying to play the game. The share has done reasonably well for itself. Uh, there is, however, one note of caution in Swiggy that they have a large floating stock which is locked in because they were outside the IPO.
yes,
All these shares will become liquid once 6 months have passed since the listing. So suddenly you will find the market flooded with paper from Swiggy once this 6 month gets over, when the anchor portion is also available, and you could have all hell uh, hitting the share.
yeah. Okay. Uh, going forward, there are lot of speculations about the big players coming in. Reliance Jio is one, one buzzword. Do you think it will hit the market next year?
Well, if I want to play safe, I can say it will hit the market in the next financial year. So it gives me 3 months extra.
Yeah,
So it becomes
yeah,
up to March 26
yeah,
that it can happen. So that is one way of looking at it. I believe something from Reliance is now overdue. They
yes,
need to get market uh, confidence back in them. They've been having a torrid or a horrid time over the last few months. Nothing seems to be going very well in their favor. So getting investors, this could be a good way of doing it. Value unlocking would happen, and small investors, which is the driving force for Reliance, would stand to gain. I believe another large issue that should hit the market would be the second Korean company, that is
LG,
LG.
LG, yeah,
LG should be hitting the market, and this should command a market cap which would be higher than Hyundai. We also need to understand that LG is the largest electronic brand from Korea,
yes,
and we don't have any significant listed players in this space. So they seem to be having a niche market for themselves. Of course, valuations would be a key. And this also brings me to another theme which should be noticed. people are looking to list their entities in India and get the advantage of higher valuations that Indian markets enjoy compared to their own home markets.
Yeah.
One recent example
Hyundai.
is Carraro India, for example, the Italian company which is into the tractor and your
Farm related.
the farm equipment and also the infrastructure equipment industry. They are not listed in Italy, which is their home country. They were listed some years ago, but now they are trying to get the benefit of listing in India, and the issue was an entire OFS.
Yeah.
So I believe Hyundai, LG, Carraro are some examples of such companies coming and taking advantage of the high PE that Indian markets enjoy globally.
Taking money away from India, does it not create some kind of a negative perception?
Stock market is a little broader than that, BN.
Much
As a
matured.
nationalist, you could have that feeling. But let's understand, if you are not listed in India also, you are doing business, you invested money when you set up that business.
Yeah.
There is no restriction on you taking dividends out of the country. We don't have that kind of a policy that you are not allowed to take dividends. You're not allowed royalties. There are rules and regulations, but they are fairly broad-minded. I believe just after emergency, you had that brief period
Yeah.
when many of the MNCs
Were forced
to list, and I believe the one man who got that done was George Fernandez.
Yeah.
He's no more in this world, so I don't want to say anything negative about him. But I became a shareholder of a number of multinationals only because of George Fernandez.
Great. We also hear the names like Bikram Solar, Fab India, Snapdeal, Ebix Cash, targeting the next year's IPO market. But Vikram has been there in the market for some time. I mean, the name has been there, was being discussed.
So Vikram Solar, this is a refiling that has happened. They had filed earlier.
Yeah.
They have now refiled the document. There are changes in the issue structure, and that's what it is. I believe the solar industry is something that is undergoing very rapid changes. The PLI scheme that has come for solar is also driving investments into this industry. If you notice in the last 6-8 months, we have had a number of large players also listing in the solar space, whether you call it Vari Energy, whether you call it Premier Energy. These are players who are in the cell manufacturing as well as module manufacturing. So this is a very hot, sexy, exciting sort of a theme. And like I said, every third, fourth IPO that is hitting the market has got something to do with solar.
Yeah, things like Snapdeal, Ebix Cash.
Well, Snapdeal is also there in the offing for some time. I believe
Retail.
they missed the bus. They
Retail,
missed the
yeah.
bus. Yeah, they missed the bus the first time around. This could be a second filing that they plan to do and raise money. We also have companies from the quick commerce field which are looking to enter the market.
Yes.
Quick commerce seems to be another buzzword, and it's a very interesting thought delivery in 10 minutes, and what gets delivered or ordered on a 10-minute basis at times makes me wonder what's happening, what is the Gen Next actually doing. So it has its pluses and minuses.
Yes.
But well, that is it. And what we need to understand, that if you are asking for a service which is beyond the ordinary, it comes at an exorbitant cost. It doesn't come free.
Yeah. Obviously, there is a price tag for everything.
Yes.
Great, Arun. I think we had IPO market has had a very good time during 2024, and we look forward to really a happy 2025.
Thank you. Thank you for having me over.
Thank you, Arun.
Well, we hope you liked our video. In that case, please press the like button and do subscribe to our channel. And please don't forget to share this video with your social media groups. Thank you very much. See you soon with another video. Till then, happy weekend and stay safe.